Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who epic review for today. As you can tell by the Patrick Troughton figure and two Dalek figures, today I'm going to be reviewing Doctor Who, The Power of the Daleks. So before I get into this review, I'm going to show you what I own of the story. So I own the original DVD release of 2016. Just pop that there. The Steelbook from 2017, including the colorization of the episodes, and it's the only time it's actually been released into color on the Steelbook. And then, of course, I own the 2021 special edition from DVD and, of course, Blu-ray. So what can I tell you about Doctor Who, The Power of the Daleks? Well, it is an entire missing episode, but luckily it has been animated and released 4 times over. Well, 3 times technically, but I own it 4 times. So what can I tell you about Doctor Who, The Power of the Daleks? Well, it follows on the events after the 10th planet, where we see the first Doctor basically collapse onto the floor and basically regenerate into Patrick Troughton, because, as he said before, this old body of mine's wearing a bit thin. So, of course, he goes and gets a new one. So when he regenerates in the TARDIS console into Patrick Troughton, you got Ben and Polly, who are very confused. Now, the first time we had a regeneration, Patrick Troughton was already wearing his outfit that his Doctor was going to wear. So you don't really see the Doctor changing out of the clothes until lately into the beginning of the Pertwee era. And then, of course, the Baker, Davison, Baker, McCoy, Eccleston, Tennant, Smith, Capaldi, and Whittaker, until lately the Power of the Doctor in last year in 2022, when we saw the 14th Doctor already wearing his outfit when they regenerate. So this is the first time we actually see a Doctor regenerate from his original outfit that Hartnell wore into the Cosmic Hobo style that Patrick Troughton wears. So, of course, when you got Ben and Polly in the TARDIS trying to work out who the Doctor is, why has he changed, and of course when the Doctor's there with a mirror and you see Hartnell's face, he changes into his own, going, "But yes, put it down, put it down, put it down." I absolutely love the way how the Doctor is there holding on to his head, going, "Concentrate on one thing, one thing." I like the way how the second Doctor is trying to handle the regeneration process, as this is apparently the first time we see it happen to the Doctor, but that's the only way I'm saying it. It's the only way that us viewers have seen it happen, if we forget all of the whole Timeless Child story arc, which I'm doing. So, of course, when the TARDIS materializes on the planet Vulcan, the Doctor decides to go and spread his legs, with Ben and Polly following him. And then, of course, on the planet Vulcan, we got these mercury swamps, which basically out this kind of poisonous gas, which knocks out Polly and, of course, Ben. The second Doctor does get knocked out on the head after he witnesses the death of the Earth Examiner. And, of course, the Doctor basically takes the button of the Earth Examiner and pretends to be the Earth Examiner for the rest of the story. So, of course, we do meet the runner of this colony, the human colony. We meet Letterson, who is a very idiot human. We meet Jenny, who is basically a prat. We have got Reagan, who I definitely think needs a good slap. We've got Quinn, who basically is the good guy. We've got Vladimir, who's basically good, as well as the Daleks. So, of course, we have basically the controller of the colony, which I can't remember his name, unfortunately. Not the Examiner, that's the Doctor. I can't remember his name from the top of my head. I'm sorry about this. Then, of course, when the Doctor basically is there coming around and they're like asking, why have we got an Earth Examiner right here, right now? It must be something to do with that Leston spacecraft. Of course, the Doctor, being the Doctor, literally basically pretends to be the Earth Examiner. He goes to the colony, pretends to be Earth Examiner. He goes to Leston's spacecraft. And, of course, when the Doctor says, yes, this is, of course, we will get in another day. We will get in another day. So when everybody's kind of like gone to bed, the Doctor wakes up with Ben and Polly for him. He goes into the spacecraft. And when he sees the Daleks, he goes, Ben, Polly, come and meet the Daleks. The what? The Daleks. I like the way how he's literally I can't think of the word from the top of my head. He's literally looking at these power drain Daleks, and of course he realizes one has basically vanished, and he goes, there was another Dalek here. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? And of course you got Ben and Polly clicking, what about Lesserton? Of course he's been here before. Yes, of course, Leicester. Yes. I like the way how you got Ben and basically Polly and Ben seeing this of a Dalek mutant basically crawling away under the door, and the Doctor just slightly looks at the corner of his eye, and that's when part 1 ends. Part 2, I like the fact the second Doctor's there trying to warn the humans in the colony about the Daleks. Of course, Lester saying, they are not deadly, you know, I just take away the weaponry. This story has got so many iconic moments, like, of course, when the Daleks use the humans' power to basically rebuild the entire Dalek army. So when the colony thinks there's only 3 Daleks, there are dozens. And, of course, this is around about episode 5 or 6. When about 5, 6, where he's there watching the Daleks basically using the mutant scooper, going into the kind of like gooey type stuff, picking up the Dalek mutant, put it into a casing, the eye stalk gets put on with the pump and the sucker. And of course, I love the fact when you got all the Dalek, that machinery shot, when you got all of the Daleks coming out in that factory line, and you got them all meeting up saying, exterminate, annihilate, destroy, Daleks have got to conquer, Daleks have got to conquer. I just absolutely love the voice of the Daleks. Now, this story is actually written by David Whittaker, and David Whittaker actually knows how to write the Daleks. I think he knows how to write them a lot better than Terry Nation. Yes, of course, Terry Nation, as we all know it, the Daleks, the Faithful Story, the Dalek Invasion of Earth, which is my favourite Hartnell story, The Chase. I believe he wrote the Daleks Master Plan. I don't know if that's David Whittaker. The Daleks Master Plan, as I know it's missing, but I have listened to the audio. It actually it does actually sound like a David Whittaker script. And David Whittaker knows how to handle the Daleks really well, because this one, it goes back to what the Doctor uses on Skaro against the Daleks, their own power, because at that point the Daleks were actually moving around on static electricity on Skaro. And this is when the first Doctor, Ian and Barbara and Susan, went. So I do like the fact that he actually went back and looked into Terry Nation's script, saw that, and I like the way how he wrote it into use this story in part 6, when the Doctor basically turns the power, like the power that the Daleks were using from the colony to basically create themselves and basically help themselves to kind of rebuild. And I like the way how it actually backfires, and the second Doctor does get knocked out, and the human colony ends up losing a lot of its electricity. And I do like the way how the Doctor goes, right, come on, let's go before we get cautioned for the bill. And then, of course, I like the way how the Doctor's there playing his flute, or the recorder, when he comes across this damaged Dalek with the eye stalk. And then, of course, they go into the TARDIS at the end and dematerialise, and, of course, the Dalek's eye stalk basically gets back into, like, it's still alive. And that's where it basically ends, the Power of the Daleks. So that's a little bit of Power of the Daleks from the plot point. This is a really great story written by David Whittaker. I absolutely love this story. In fact, to own it 4 times in my Doctor Who collection, in Steelbook normal Blu-ray, as well as 2 DVD versions of it, you can tell I absolutely love this story. It's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. I absolutely think this is a fantastic Troughton story. In fact, this is the first ever Troughton story. And of course, I have got a video coming out later in the week where I'm going to be ranking all 19 stories out of 21. So for the second Doctor, I have actually seen 19 out of these 21 stories. The only 2 stories I haven't seen is, of course, the Space Pirates and, of course, the Highlands. Now, I am trying to find the reconstruction, so if anyone can send me any links to watch the reconstruction episodes of them, I would absolutely be grateful, because I really want to watch those 2 stories now, so I can say, yep, I have watched all of Troughton's stories. There's only 2 I need to actually go and watch. Honestly, I have to admit, this story, even though it's done by animation to help it exist again since 1966, God bless me, over nearly 50 odd years ago, I have to admit, this is absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, it's a brilliant Dalek story. It's a brilliant second Doctor story. I like that fact that we haven't come across Jamie yet, but of course, after it's like literally connecting up from the events of the 10th planet where the Doctor regenerates into Troughton, I think that's handled absolutely splendid. I think it's absolutely brilliant. This is a great story to watch for a fan to get into the Troughton era. Plus, it's a Dalek story. You know, it's one of the best Dalek stories in the 60s. I'm going to have to do a ranking of the Dalek stories in the 60s I have seen, apart from the Daleks Master Plan, because I have to leave that one out until I can find the reconstruction, because I've only listened to it for the audio. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of Doctor Who, The Power of the Daleks? Is it one story you would be definitely interested to go and watch? Let me know. Please do like, subscribe, and share, and join for more awesome Doctor Who content. Thank you for being magnificent viewers and subscribers.